Hey, everybody. Welcome to HIT.OR.DIE podcast with your hosts, Jake Saldati and Chad Rothford.
Hey, everybody. Hey.
Somebody's in a good mood, probably because we're wearing the same t-shirt today.
Samesies Wednesday.
Even though
it never happens.
It doesn't happen. I'm surprised. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often, but
has it ever happened? Have we ever done it?
Yes.
We have?
We have. And we've done it multiple times, but there's been times where you've had an extra shirt where you'll change because you don't want to have the same shirt on because you're embarrassed to look like me.
It was me. It wasn't you.
No, it was you. I traveled.
For those
that
are listening,
shirt.
we're wearing the same shirt today.
Yeah. Our badass HOD shirt with the earphones and the mic, which is pretty sick. If you didn't get one, you're lost.
Hey, but there are some designs we're working on to bring out here soon.
Yeah.
Some new stuff. So there will be a new store getting put together at some point here in the near future. So be ready for that.
Yeah, probably 2024.
I interrupted you.
No, I was just going to say YouTube's kicking. We finally had 300 subscribers.
Right on the nose.
We were supposed to get to 1,000 by 2 weeks ago. So you guys definitely
I think it was
missed
longer
the mark on that one. But hey, we still would like you to subscribe. It would help us out a lot. A lot of people have been reaching out to us and they're like, hey, we'll probably pay you $100,000 if you have your sponsors or your subscribers to 1,000, so we're trying to make some money because we're actually still negative 10,000 in the hole.
$100,000.
So get out there, subscribe, do it for us, not yourself. We would appreciate it.
Not for yourself. Tell your kids to tell their friends.
Tell your kids.
And then their friends to tell their friends. Go, Wraith.
Got it.
Yeah. 300, right on the money.
300. I'm going to go unsubscribe and subscribe again. Or maybe I'll just make another account. I'll make 1,000 more accounts.
You're gonna be pretty busy for a little while.
Well, whatever it's got to do to get us that paycheck.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm down.
No, but thanks again. We've had a great month. You guys have been solid, like always, supporting us, taking the good and the bad, and
we've kind of been a little more
the bad and the ugly.
I'm not gonna say we. You've been a little more outspoken on some topics, and I think we've talked about some things that some people maybe have shied away from, and then some topics that people want to hear about or want to know, or other people don't want to talk about, but are thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
So and we'll continue to do that. Again, I've don't plan on going back to coaching anytime soon, other than maybe some T-ball coaching. So that's part of the reason why I don't maybe let it loose as much as you do. Although you are at City, I represented a school district and a coaching staff and admin. I just didn't want to look like I know I'm
representing a junior college.
I know. That's why I said.
I mean, they got mad when I put Euless Ballpark on there. I had to take that down.
Did that ever get figured out?
No. So,
but it's not Euless Ballpark.
It is Fresno City College
baseball field.
Yeah. They're still, I don't know. There might be something in the works. We'll see. We will see. I like you went with the stand today, the mic stand.
Yeah, I've used it the last couple times.
Well, at the
I don't have that big monster.
This is better. I like this.
I like it better too.
It's way better.
Yeah. The other.
Hey, did you know NBA finals are going on right now?
I did actually.
I didn't even know basketball was a sport. Still.
Yes, it's still a sport.
Okay.
The Stanley Cup finals, I think, are also going on.
Hey, if you that is one professional game that you need to go to is go see a professional hockey game. Unbelievable. We should go to San Jose Sharks game and see it. I mean, it's not far, but when we went to Vegas a couple years ago and we went to that Knights game
last year.
No, was it
2020?
2020. Okay. That atmosphere was unbelievable. The Black Knights, the Las Vegas Knights.
Is it the Golden Knights?
Golden Knights, but they're wearing black and gold. So
whatever you want it to be.
That's actually a good movie, The Black Knight with Martin Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good movie. And The Dark Knight is a good movie. I'm Batman.
That's probably the best one.
Really?
Best. I mean, it's The first one with Michael Keaton is probably number one. And then I would have to say The Dark Knight.
Yeah. I could agree with that. Val Kilmer was all right. George Clooney was.
I never even bothered. I couldn't finish them.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
And then Dark Knight Rises.
Maybe. The one with the Joker is the best.
Yes.
Movie.
They're both with Joker, though.
True. Yeah, you're right. And that's the funny thing is nobody could play the Joker like Jack Nicholson, but Heath Ledger went and did it.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean?
That's up for debate. Who was better? I personally liked Heath Ledger
because how much he got into that character. Like Jack Nicholson, I feel like since he was in that, what's The Shining, and
it was more like comic book with the makeup.
Yeah, but this was like, holy crap! It's a psycho.
Yeah,
he played it so good. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger.
That was a good movie. Man.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, honestly, anything Christopher Nolan directs, I like.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, did you? We talked about the Tomorrow War. Go watch it.
What's it on?
Amazon Prime. It's a good one. Sorry, I got off topic.
No, it's fine. I mean, it doesn't have to be always about sports.
Talking about Little League basketball and then hockey.
What? Yeah. There is baseball going on.
There is.
We're right in the thick of it. All-Star game coming up.
Into the thick of it.
But recently, within this last week, what was his name? Pablo Lopez for the Marlins. Mm-hmm. First pitch of the game. Hits Ronald Acuna.
Yep.
Gets run. Sent to the showers.
Shouldn't happen.
But that's not the first time they've had beef with the Marlins.
So it was the first pitch of the game. Gotcha. What starting pitcher is going to be like, I'm going to.
Hey, they're talking about how crowding the plate and owning. He can't own the inside half of the plate to every pitcher.
No.
So.
And he's raking.
Yeah, I get it. I don't think
get off my. And this is where I'm a hitter, and I agree with the pitchers. Get off my damn plate. And then a hitter is like, no, this is my damn plate. Okay, well then wear it. Wear it. Take your bag. Who cares? That's why you're wearing a freaking arm sleeve that goes from your shoulder to your wrist. I mean, just wear it and move on.
Do you think it's different if he's head hunting?
I don't think he was head hunting.
No, I don't think so either.
But yeah, I mean, no pitchers. The first pitch of the game, I'm going to just drill Acuna, whatever his name is, So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like it's stupid. But we were also talking about. Go ahead.
No, go.
No, you go.
He one pitch, hit the batter, and Acuna ends up scoring, and he takes a loss for the game throwing one pitch.
Yeah, they lost 1-0.
And he got the loss, one pitch loss. And we were talking last night, has that ever happened? Or what ways can you lose
by just throwing
one pitch? So intentional walk, right? You intentionally walk a guy, and then you balk
3 times.
You balk 3 times, or you balk twice and throw a pass ball.
Well, I guess you could balk 3 times and not throw a pitch.
Or throw a pitch. That's true. Or a solo home run.
Walk off
home run. What else? Is there any other?
No, because if we came to the conclusion, if you come in with base runners on, they're not your
runners.
So you don't get the loss. So it would have to be or you intentionally walk somebody and you give up a double.
Or like a guy, you intentionally walk a guy and he does the Pat Corning and goes all the way around the bases and you just don't throw the ball. And he gets the third.
Yeah, it was just kind of funny.
Or a walk-off air, right? Where they throw the ball around, overthrow first, throw away from second.
Yeah.
I mean, technically that's one pitch. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to get into
it. Was just kind of funny. That was the first pitch of the game.
Yeah, first pitch of the game.
Like we've seen a walk-off where I guarantee you it's happened in the history. First pitch, homer, walk-off, home run.
Yeah.
But just the first pitch of the game, tossed, and he comes around to score, and you lose 1-0. And you get the loss.
So the first pitch of the game is the only pitch for you, and you take the loss. Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to really we need to go look that up. Oh, we should have looked it up.
We should have.
If you're out there, look, maybe see if that's ever happened. I don't think that's ever happened before.
It probably hasn't.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
The other thing we want to get to, we do have a guest today, is Just how freaking good is Shohei Ohtani? Like that, at least this season.
He's so good. He's so good.
276 batting average.
Yeah, that could be a little higher though.
31 bombs, 68 ribbies, 12 stolen bases. And then on the pitching side of it is.
Do you think he's getting tired though? Like pitching?
I mean, he might. 4-1, 3.49 ERA.
That's still not bad. I mean,
13 starts.
67 innings, 87 strikeouts.
It's impressive though.
Yeah. How many walks? 35 walks. No, I mean, it's really impressive. I mean, the only other guy that I've known to do that is my Road to the Show guy.
With those tight numbers.
No, better. My guy's got way better numbers than that, but the Road to the Show. But no, it's unbelievable what he's doing. And I think it would be cool to see him start the All-Star game and then bat third. I don't know. I just think it would be cool. Why not just let him keep doing something that's never been done before?
Do you think you'll start to see more players, like more of this? Or is this kind of just?
I don't know, because the Rays had a guy. Remember the dude from Louisville, McKay, right? It was,
yeah.
I think his last name is McKay. He's had some ABs with the Rays, and he's a pitcher as well. Throws mid-90s lefty. He was the next guy that I thought would possibly be able to do it, but I just haven't seen anybody do it like him.
Yeah.
But also, he did it in professional baseball in Japan for a long time. So when he came over, he's already been doing it. So they let him do it.
Who's the kid from Cincinnati? He went to Fullerton, Lorenzen.
Yeah.
I mean, he can rake a little bit.
He can rake too. And he comes in and plays outfield every now and then, but
he can throw.
So we'd see guys do that, but are you going to see a guy like Shohei's a DH? So I don't think you're ever going to see a guy play defense every day and then pitch on the fifth or sixth day.
That makes sense.
I don't think you're going to see that. And I don't know if any hitters are to that standard. Like McKay's a great hitter, but he also didn't hit in the minors. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's had some time off. Now, if they said, look, we'll have you do this in the minors and you could DH and pitch, that's one thing. But is an organization going to do that? Because a lot of organizations, they take you for one. They don't take you for two. Now, it might change the way they look at that now, but.
Or other teams are on the hunt for something similar, you know?
I mean, you're on the hunt for a needle in a haystack or
I got you.
Diamond in the rough.
You're still going to look.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And there's guys that can do it. I thought McKay would have been the one that could do it. I mean, he batted over 400 at Louisville,
and then you had the kid from Tampa. Was it Phillips?
Oh, came in to pitch.
The pitch. Oh, it was priceless.
Yeah, that was good.
His stretch,
94, first pitch.
Yeah, just why don't you keep throwing Chad?
That's what I thought.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the video, it's pretty funny. I'm sure everybody's seen it already, but
he's a character already.
He is, dude. He is. It was so watching him in the bullpen, and oh my God, the moves are spectacular. Good form.
I wish he didn't give up any runs though.
I don't think he did.
No, he did. He's got an ERA of like whatever it is for.
I thought he got out of that inning.
He got out of it but he gave up a run.
Did he?
Yeah.
Maybe. I think you're right. I think you did give up.
I am right.
Well,
I did my due diligence.
We'll see. No, you didn't.
I did a little bit. I know that for a fact.
Oh my gosh. We're going to get into more of the NIL stuff next week.
Next week, we got a sports agent.
Friend of yours.
Friend of mine with Wraith Sports Agency. Josh Escovedo, good buddy of mine. Known him for a long time. Now we can't say forever, but not forever. But let's just say I've known him for 20 plus years. Maybe even 20 plus. That's about right. He's with a Wraith Sports Agency. They just signed Kendall Milton, along with another top running back in the country. They also have a UFC fighter. So he's going to come on, talk more about the NIL stuff.
Details. There's some rules to it. I mean, there's things that you can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be we got another couple guests lined up. I think you said August for one. So still working on some more guys that come on. And today we're going to talk to Coach Oliveira, Joe Oliveira, former San Diego State baseball assistant coach, now in a consulting business, helping guys get recruited. We're going to get him on and kind of get some more ins and outs, maybe more in depth on that process. So you definitely want to stick around, listen to what Joe's got to say. He's out there helping families get their kids through that process. So stick around. We'll be right back with Joe Oliveira.
I almost wore
man.
my San Diego State hat today too. I didn't know you're not there anymore. So I mean, you're always being Aztec. So
always represent, man. There's a good dudes over there. Always root for.
You want to talk about a little bit why you kind of got out? Well, we talked about just family and then just kind of what made you get into where you're going.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, obviously start with the decision, which was, honestly the toughest decision I've ever had to make. And, something obviously I put a lot of thought into and a lot of sleepless nights. And you're right. It wasn't about the money. No one gets into coaching for the money. You kind of understand that going in. You go in it for the love of the game and the players. And, for me, just going back, dream number one was playing Major League Baseball. Dream number two was being a D1 college head coach. And so that's kind of the path I was on. I felt like, if I continued on the path, I would have got there. But the dream that trumped all of them was being dad. And, when, my baby boy was born last June, it changed me and it changed my mindset, my priorities. And so kind of started to shift my overall thinking a little bit. And then, we found out this spring, we're having another boy this December. So about to get a lot busier around here. And, the college baseball schedule is what it is. And, it takes what it takes to be great. And, the season's a grind, recruiting. There's something you can go to every single day in the summer. You got full fall practice, then you got camps in December. It's 45 plus weekends a year. And, I enjoyed all of it. I enjoyed, every piece of it, but it just got harder to be away from home and be away from my family and being present. And, for me, especially was when I was home, I wasn't necessarily fully present either. My mind was still on our players, watching videos, scouting reports, talking to recruits, and it was just kind of on my phone all the time. And it was just like, even when I was home for the little amount my brain wasn't fully there. And it wasn't fair to my wife. It wasn't fair to my kids. And there's a lot of great coaches out there that I respect that are great dads and do a great job of the balancing. I just felt like I wasn't great at it. And if I was going to continue to move forward and progress my career, I didn't want to sacrifice that part of it. So, it was tough, man. And I think COVID played a huge role as well. That dead period last summer, my kid was born June 1st. So just getting to be home with him 24/7 for the first 4 months, it made me realize how happy I was, just being as present as I was at home. And going back was a little bit tougher. The practice part was great being on the field, but just all the other stuff that comes with being a college coach started to kind of wear at me a little more than it did before.
We had the same conversation when you were going to come back. You weren't going to come back.
I wasn't coming back.
Yeah. So I did, and I get that 100%. It also made the decision for me to get out this year. Is same situation. My two kids being home, and I have a job outside of baseball that was taking a hit with me being gone, and so I get that 100%. We're talking to Joe Oliveira, former now. So now we're getting into Oliveira Baseball Consulting, and just kind of what brought that, because at football, that's huge. Like the recruiting with football and having consulting groups, you see it all the time. Maybe not so much I haven't really heard of it in baseball. I mean, you see travel ball coaches kind of do a lot of that work if the high school coaches aren't, but what kind of steered you in that direction?
Yeah, I just, being on the other side of it, I just saw so many kids just, not only make poor decisions on where they should go, but just be under recruited, go under the radar. You have those conversations, no knock on any kids or families. It's a really confusing process, but so many people are just so naive to what really goes into it. And on the other side of it, everybody on the other side has, different views on it. I just felt like there was a gap that could be filled. And, I thought about it last year with COVID, with everything up in the air, we didn't even know if we were going to have a season. I was put on a 6-month contract at San Diego State. And I didn't find out my contract was renewed until like a week before the new year. And so I was starting to brainstorm, what am I going to do to provide income and stay in the game? Because I love the game, love staying involved. And so I started kind of creating this business plan at that point. Luckily we were renewed, we had a season, and, it was shortened and stuff, but, I kind of started really diving into it then, and, making phone calls, and there were guys that do it that I really like. And I dealt with on the other side. And so I called them, and everybody was great about providing information, kind of being open. And I just felt like I could come from the other side, bring some credibility, bring some honesty to it, and really help some kids and families through the process, because it is the biggest life decision a kid is going to make up until that point. And your college years are supposed to be the most important years of your life. And, I want to help kids make sure they're spending those most important years of their life at the right place for them. And I really do believe there's a right place for everybody. There's so many schools and programs at all levels all across the country. And, I want to be an advocate for these kids and help them find that. And, the other thought is I thought it was a good time for it, just with COVID, the dead period being the last year and a half. A lot of kids weren't recruited and don't really know where to go. On the flip side, college programs, everybody got a year of eligibility back, so rosters are more full than ever. You got the transfer portal going on, and it's getting even more confusing and complicated than it was before. And so I just felt like it was also a good time to kind of jump into it and really help these kids.
Does the transfer, you mentioned it, I was going to bring it up, the transfer portal, do you think that also entails with a lot of parents and families? You said they were naive about where they were going, and they might think it's the right fit, but then find out it's not. And then the transfer portal's there.
Or is it a kid jumping at an offer just because they got an offer?
Yeah. That's happening a ton. And, I was at a mid-major, a very high mid-major that can compete with anybody, but we lost a lot of kids just because we didn't have a Power 5 logo on our sleeve. And, and I really believe we were the right place for a lot of those kids. And, for 8 years, I saw kids commit to a Power 5 school and then call me after their freshman year saying, "Oh, I should have listened. I should have came there." And, or chase the bright lights and maybe the better facilities, the TV deals. And I didn't realize where my fit should have been. And so just, kids like that, helping them navigate through it. And maybe Power 5 is the best fit, and, it's where they should go. But each kid is a different situation. And so, helping them navigate through that. It's a tough decision, and kids are influenced by all sorts of things. And, I get what the way a college coach's brain works, and kind of just helping bridge that gap. And, my honesty with the college coaches and their honesty with me, with my clients is going to be huge to this thing.
So I got 2 questions. One at a time.
So two-parter.
One is, God dang it, you just killed my train of thought. First, when you talked about, we talked the other day roughly about the camp stuff. Okay. Yeah. And we've heard from coaches, one, they all talk about fit, and everybody for the most part has a camp for their school. And I've heard coaches say, hey, pick 4 or 5 schools, go to their camps, see what their facilities look like, be around the coaching staff. Just if you like it, if it feels like home, or you can gauge some of that. Is that always the right thing to do?
Not necessarily. I mean, yes and no. But I don't believe in wasting anybody's time or money to go to a camp or a situation where there really is an interest or need. I think I gave the example the other day. I asked all my clients to give me 15 schools that they're interested in. And my client was signed up for a bunch of their camps, which is great. Interested in the school, go to the camp. On the other side, as a college coach, you're trying to fill those camp numbers as much as possible. You want as many kids as there. It supplements your income. That's how you pay the volunteer. So I get it. But on the other side, if you're going with the idea of being recruited, it could be a little misleading. So I called schools on the kid's behalf. He's like, "No, we don't really have a need. We don't have an interest." So I told the family, like, "Hey, you can go to this camp, and they're just not looking for your position, or they're not interested. And so why don't we just save the time and money and look elsewhere for a school where it might be a fit?" And so just having those conversations, I don't know if kids know that they're allowed to have, and maybe college coaches aren't going to be as honest with them as they are with me. You know, I have personal relationships with a lot of these guys. So, but yeah, I mean, camps are great. If you're interested in school or you're interested in you, I think it's a great asset to get in there. You get to work with the coaching staff. You get to know their coaching style, see the ins and outs of the program, kind of see what they do. Coaches get on the field with you, get up close. They're also interacting with you. So I think those are really important if it's a mutual interest type of situation.
How much money did you think that kid's family potentially saved just by you making phone calls I mean, you got 15 camps. If 7 of them said they didn't want you, a couple grand maybe. And that's if you drive to them.
Yeah, you're talking travel, hotels. You know, camps are sometimes around $500 each. You want to really make sure there's a genuine interest there. And if you're going just to be coached up and get better, that's another part of it too. I think that's great. There's a lot of great college coaches out there that can help you with the game. But if you're going with the idea of trying to get an offer or play at that program, I think it's important to make sure there's a mutual interest. And that's where some situations I can step in and help.
Interesting. What about the other part was kids going so young? Like you're seeing freshmen, sophomores commit, and listen, if you wanted to go to a school your entire life and there's an opportunity to do so, I don't necessarily fault some of those kids. But when I see some schools have like 5 committed freshmen, I just think that's pretty ridiculous at times. Like I can understand a kid saying, yeah, I want to go to you guys. Great. Because obviously, I mean, they don't sign until they're, seniors. So when you see a kid commit as a freshman, let's say a kid committed, well, Brady committed early, right? So what throughout his high school, years, and once he commits, like what are the things that you continue to look and follow up with that kid throughout his high school career when he commits at a young age?
Yeah, I think I took a lot of pride in, when we did commit a kid early, was really focusing on their development. And so, you're committed, we're good. You're not worried about showcasing yourself. Let's focus on how we're going to get you better. And so we sort of set up development plans, stayed in touch with them. I stayed in touch with our committed guys probably more so than any other uncommitted guys I was trying to get, just to make sure we were getting the kid that we thought we were getting when they show up on campus. And so, yeah, those early commits, can focus on other things. You can focus on, for one, helping your high school team win. I wanted winners who made their programs better. And, Brady did that. Turned Bullard into a powerhouse and, get him in the right classes, maybe push some AP classes, kind of streamline that, bring in some units in. But the number one thing is the development, get him acclimated with the program, talk about what we do, and that's what a lot of these schools are doing when they commit kids early is now they're set, they know where they're going. Now we can focus on other things. So yeah, there's good and bad. Some kids are rushing into it, but if it's, the right fit and the kid feels that, and, if the kid's mature for his age and knows what he wants and the coaching staff solidified him in place, and I think it can be a really good situation.
We've had a couple kids. I've heard this last year. I know we played a team that had a kid leave during the playoffs for a camp for a specific MLB team.
Mm-hmm.
And then these kids use their travel ball. Again, a lot of ways to recruit, which again, it's there. Travel ball exists. There's some really good teams and there's some really good tournaments and opportunities with area code and some other things. But it seems like high school is not as important anymore. Like it feels like some kids think that their high school team can't get them where they want to go. And I don't know when it happened. And I don't know how much of that you see, if you saw it at all. And especially doing what you're doing now. I mean, how many kids do you talk to that think their high school is more relevant than their travel opportunities?
Yeah. I mean, you run into that a lot. I think it's getting worse and worse the way, social media and, summer, tournaments and showcases are going on. Yeah. We ran into a lot this year just because the high school season got pushed back. So now it leaked into the summer. And so I had a few of our commits, hey, should I stay with my high school team for the playoffs or, go play in this travel tournament? And I was just like, do you really know what you're asking me? I think you understand what my answer is about to be,
does that kind of throw you back a little bit? Like whoa.
Like what's more important?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think I think everything should start with the high school program, and everything else should be worked around that. That's your guys you grew up with. That's your school. That's going to be your alma mater. That's just, there should be so much pride and loyalty tied into your high school program. Everything else should be second. That is my theory. There's so many great high school coaches, and like you guys all know, high school coaches aren't in it for the money at all. They're, teachers or have another job, and they're showing up after work to coach them, and they're just doing it for the love of the game. And so, yeah, for sure. I think the high school program should come first, but yeah, I get the kids thinking of it a little bit because, it is tougher for college coaches to come out and watch high school games. It is during the spring season, so college coaches are really busy. And then you're going to watch one game and maybe one or two kids versus going to a travel tournament where there's 8 games going on in one place and you can see 1,000 kids and 100 of them are probably D1 players. So I get, from a college coach's perspective, being able to get more bang for your buck when you're out recruiting. But there was nothing like, as a recruiter, I loved going and just watching a high school game, sitting in one spot, watching a kid compete for his town, for his school, and for all his buddies he grew up with. There's nothing better than that.
And I think the other thing too, and you brought up social media, is how many high schools you see promote a single player.
No,
you see that.
Mm-mm.
You see 0 high schools promoting a single player. You see a lot of travel ball organizations highlight individual players on their travel ball team. I mean, we put stats from our players that, they did this game, but we never just glorify one player on our team.
Yeah.
Because we don't play with one guy.
Yeah. And there are travel programs that are great in, play to win and do it the right way. And they get into tournaments and, there is a, element of wanting to win. But ultimately it's trying to get guys to the next level, where high school we're trying to win championships, so that's, the focus of that too. And I think that's why high school baseball should always be first. It's about winning. It's about competing, and I think that's on the forefront of the mind of the kids and should carry them to be successful college players.
With what you're doing now with the consulting, what's, if people were to reach out to you, what's the one thing, like, hey, when they call you, what's the first thing you tell them? Like, look, this is what we're going to do. This is how we attack. Obviously every kid's different. Fits are different. Some kids are, maybe not D1 players, but ultimately, what do you tell a family first time on a phone call? Like,
yeah, great question. Yeah. So my process is, the first thing I do is evaluate where they're at and come up with the development plan. I just evaluate from a former recruiting coordinator's perspective. This is where you're at. This is what you need to get better at. How can we get better at it? I was also a coach on the field, hitting, catching, outfield. So pretty good idea of coming up with a development plan for each player. The better the player is, easier job mine is, and more options we're going to create for this guy. And no matter where a kid is, he needs to get better. We all know that. Some kids think they don't, but everybody, it needs to start from a development perspective. And so we come up with that first. And then I haven't given a list of 15 schools. And so if I feel like they're in a position to start communicating with those schools, we'll set up some conversations, get them in front of them. I'll get feedback from those schools, whether it's a yes or a no. At least we know, if they're all no's, at least we know your 15 schools were a no. At least you're not making a decision wondering if those schools would have been an option. So we're guaranteeing that those schools at least saw you and gave us a yes or a no. And if there's some yeses, we're interested. Let's find a way to get in front of them some more. Maybe we'll, add some tournaments, some showcases to find out how to get in front of these schools. Maybe we'll put you in one of their camps and, help with the dialogue, help, some kids communicate with the coaches, how to ask the right questions and, how to ultimately decide which school might be the best fit for them. Give my insight on programs, coaching staffs, and just kind of, I'm not making any decisions for any kids, but just kind of giving them information and being an advocate for them. And then, ultimately hopefully having some options for each kid, and then sit down and talk about what each option means. College baseball offers can get really confusing, and I've heard horror stories from the other side about what offers or how they're verbalized, or trying to be deceitful to kids to say the percentage here or there. So just making sure everybody's being honest, everybody knows exactly what they're looking at, and helping the kid choose what school is going to be the best fit for them. And then I want to stay and follow those kids. I don't want to end at the commitment. I want to follow them and, help them with the admission process, NCAA eligibility center, and follow them once they get to college, and, be a mentor for them, and be an advocate if there's a situation in school where, they're a tough situation and, they want to bounce some ideas off me, like, hey, this is what's going on, kind of give them advice and maybe how to handle it, and just kind of be a fan and follow them through the whole thing. And, my mindset is this is the first time in my entire life I haven't been part of a team. I played all growing up, went straight from playing to coaching. And so I'm trying to build kind of my own team with my clients, and I want close relationships with our guys. And, I tell them I'm working for you. So you tell me how you want me to fit into your situation. And every kid's going to be a little bit different. But that's kind of the overview, bird's eye view of my process a little bit.
And I think your experience, your background in it, you're not just some dude out to make a money grab, right? At least there's because there are those guys out there, and they're going to tell you what you want to hear, and the hardest part is probably being honest with some clients, I'm sure. But that's what I like about it, is that you've got a lot of time in the game, a lot of time in D1 baseball. I mean, let's be honest, probably could have been a Division I head baseball coach recently. So, I mean, if anybody's out there that's confused on the process or needs help with the process, Oliveira Baseball Consulting. Do you want to give out your contact info?
Sure. Yeah. It's Oliveira Baseball Consulting at gmail.com is kind of the best way to get a hold of me.
And we'll put it in the description with everything.
Okay.
And
then social media, Coach Oliveira on all my social media platforms. DM, I'm talking to kids left and right, and it's kind of coming, heavier and faster than I thought it was, which is great. So kind of navigating through it, and a lot of conversations with kids about how I can help, and really starting to process a lot of kids, which has been a lot of fun. And, every kid's a little bit different. I mean, I have a 24 kid where it's just like, hey, let's focus on getting you better the next 6 months. I think you have an unbelievable skill set. Let's get better. And then we'll kind of dive into schools where I have some 22s or, have some offers on the table, need to help navigating through a situation. Another kid who's got 10 offers on the table and really just brought me on to help them navigate through which one is the right fit. And so I kind of fit into where each client kind of needs me in the process a little bit. And then just kind of going back to what you mentioned is, the biggest thing I have to maintain when I get into this business is my credibility and my honesty. So if I go to a school and I, try to sell him a kid that can't play for him, that school is never going to listen to me again. And so maintaining my relationships at a high level, is my ticket in this thing. So I'm definitely going to be honest with schools. I'm going to be honest with kids. And sometimes it's a hard message. They give me a list of schools and they have a 2.8 and they want me to call Stanford, or I'm sorry, I'm not doing that for you. Like I'm not putting myself on the line, my name on the line. So, just, and I think there needs to be more honesty in the process. And so, I'm not afraid of, just to be straightforward with kids, and, if they like the message, great. If they don't, then at least they need to hear it. I think in the long run, it'll be better for them.
I think too I think these kids and parents, even if they need help or want help, I think they need to sit down and be realistic about their ability, their grades, and where they would go to school. You know what I mean? Because when I'm at Fresno City College and I told the guys after the season, I said, look, give me a list of schools. And I said, be realistic. You're not going to be giving me Power 5 schools. They're not going to take a lot of JUCO transfers unless you're one of the top players in the state, So let's be realistic. Give me some D2s, give me some NAIs, give me some D3s, and I'll make calls for you. I think kids and parents, everybody's so big on getting that D1 scholarship that they're not realistic about the other options out there. And I think that's another thing that you'd be good at with letting them know, like you said, a 2.8. Well, if I'm a backup catcher, I'm probably not going to, one of my 15 schools isn't going to be Vanderbilt, or, you know what I mean? Like right away. It's just, I think kids and parents need to be realistic about how good they really are.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where, honestly, I have to do some networking. I'm spent the last few weeks on phone is, get in touch with some East Coast schools, some D2s, D3s, NAIs, because, there's a fit for everybody. And to be honest, all those levels are about to get way better with the transfer portal, everybody getting that year of eligibility back, the draft being shortened. There's just way more players in college baseball, and there's only so many spots for them to play. So, helping families understand that. And, I've been in touch with some D2 schools, and I had no idea how good they are. It's like, I'm talking to the coach and looking up, diving into the program, like, you guys are really good, and you got a bunch of guys drafted, and you could be a really good fit for a lot of kids. So I'm enjoying that part of it, is kind of building my network and getting in touch with a lot of great coaches across the country.
Yeah, I think it's great. I saw you tweeted it out the other day, and I was bummed because, everything I've heard, and we've had a decent relationship the last year, and I was like, oh, this guy's going to be a head coach, and Coach Purse swore by it. Joe's going to be running a program. And yeah. I mean, you were close, right? I mean, if you want to talk about it, you can. I mean, just a family decision for you.
Yeah. I feel like, I was on the path. I really believe that. And, I think it's realistic for me to say that. But, for me, I also, that was also really hard to walk away from, because, there's 300 Division I head coaches. There's, 100 successful, D1 head coaches. And I really believed and had a confidence I could have been one of those successful ones. But then I kind of took a step back and tried to think of why. Like, why did I really want that? And it kind of hit me. It was really kind of my own ego getting in the way a little bit. It was more of my ego kind of wanting that status and kind of moving forward. And for me, that wasn't the right reason. And so, for me, that kind of helped me in my decision, what I was kind of leaning towards doing. And, as long as I have an ego at home with my kids, that's all that really matters to me right now.
100%.
So, and just, and this is, it's been a lot of fun, man. Just helping some of these kids. I've been going at it a couple of weeks now, and starting to build some clientele, some great kids, great families that can really play. And, some of the kids honestly don't need me, but it's awesome to be a part of it and help them navigate through it. And, we can guarantee they're going to be in the best spot for them kind of moving forward.
Yeah. Some of them don't know they need you until they need you, though. So
yeah. I mean, I'll bring, like I said, I think I can bring a lot of value to pretty much any situation. If the family is willing to do it and wants to do it, I'm willing to fit in kind of wherever they want me to fit.
I got one more thing, and we talked about this. San Diego State had a really good ball club this year.
Mm-hmm. I know where you're going.
And the NCAA likes to take one tournament winner, and this year happened to be Nevada in the Mountain West. How do you feel about getting hosed and not going and playing in the tournament? Like, how do you I'm just curious. That's all. Because you guys I went and watched you guys play at Fresno. I think you lost that day, but that was an interesting series to say the least.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, because we both thought, how are these guys not in a regional?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get too mad because we did throw away some games at the end of the year. But I thought we had a really talented team. I think we had the second highest batting average in the country, second most runs per game in the country, and I thought we could have really done some damage in a regional. On the other side of it, and a lot of people don't realize, is our schedule got completely flipped around because of COVID. We had a really high RPI schedule. We're going out to Miami, going up to Oregon State, going to Iowa, and then all of our midweek games, which are high RPI games, got waxed because of COVID. So we had to get a more regionalized schedule. Our conference, I think it added 10 more conference games rather than non-conference high RPI games. And so I thought they just put too much emphasis on RPI this year, because a lot of things were out of our control about our schedule and who we played. And so that was the frustrating part for it, because I think, we could have beat anybody and we could have done some damage in a regional. But at the same time, we threw away some games late that we shouldn't have. And, our players earned it and they deserved it. And so, yeah, definitely a little bit frustrating. But on the flip side, you throw away some games, you can't be too mad.
So do you feel like maybe if they did a college baseball NIT type version tournament?
Yeah, that's something. The thing is, college basketball makes money. College baseball doesn't make money.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So just, added expenses, especially with all the budget cuts to COVID, I get it. It's hard to be too mad about it.
Yeah, I just wanted to pick your brain on that, because Chad and I were like, there's no reason they shouldn't be in.
No, yeah. I don't know.
And they will be moving forward. They have some really good pieces coming back and some good pieces coming in, and excited to kind of be a fan and root for them. And I think they're going to be in a really good situation moving forward.
No, again, I'm just excited for you, the new chapter. congrats on the new baby coming.
Appreciate it.
I love that you're staying connected to the game. I mean, it's in your blood. This is what you do. I think you're the perfect guy for it. And again, if anybody has any questions, concerns about the process, Joe is extremely, very available. Always responds to my texts, messages, emails, phone calls. It's Oliveira Baseball Consulting at gmail.com. We'll put the link in the description. Joe,
and give my phone number out there too. I don't mind. 619-321-9906. Call me, text me. I got a lot more time on my hands now. So this is what I'm doing full time, and excited to stay connected and communicate with a lot of great players, great families, man. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, no, we'll get all the information in here. I appreciate you taking some time out of your day, spending time with the family to talk to us. Anything else we could do to help you, man? You know we're here for you. Again, guys, if you need help with the recruiting process, and I know there's a lot of guys that want to play beyond college, even JUCO guys, this is the man you need to talk to.
So if you want it done the right way.
Yes. From a guy that's recruited for many years now and been along in Division I baseball for a long time.
Probably has more connections than your travel ball coach.
Maybe a little bit more.
I use those guys too. There's some good ones out there for sure. But I appreciate it, guys. It was a lot of fun when I was on the other side, on your podcast as a recruiting coordinator, and it was honored that you guys asked me to come back and talk about this deal. So whatever you guys need, I'm here, and happy to talk through any process with any kid, man.
I got a 2032 switch hitting infielder.
Let's go, man. He's on the house.
What is he? Would he be 2032?
Bro, I don't know.
He's 5. Still uncommitted. We're working on it. So I got somewhere to
too early.
Oh my gosh. Well, Joe, no, seriously, thank you for coming on. Anytime, you're welcome. And again, if we can help out anyway, we're here for you. Chad, next week we got another guest coming on, talking about the NIL stuff a little bit. And again, Oliveira Baseball Consulting at gmail.com. That's another episode of the Hit or Die podcast.
Hit or Die.